our beloved community. This is our virtual experience where we are showing up, providing a space that is allowing for people to feel safe, a space in which we can feel the love, and a space in which we can show up and be just who we are, because we know that each and every one of us is a divine expression of spirit. And so though we are here virtually, I'm knowing that our beloved community, our sacred sanctuary, our campus is continuing to remain a safe place, and that there are individuals who are showing up on a periodic basis, and they're taking care of the building. There's White Feathers providing security and watering as much as he possibly can. We are looking forward to ensuring that the place is always protected and clean, and will be a safe place for us when we are able to return to that. And we just give thanks for the gift and the blessing that we have for our beautiful campus and our beloved community, and all who are doing their part in order to sustain our center and all that it is meant to be. So thank you for being here and being a part of that. And I would like to continue on with our service as I invite Reverend Ann to come in and give us our announcements.
Good morning, everyone. And I'd like to welcome all of you, myself, and also to anyone who is joining us for the first time this morning. And I do think we have a couple of new people with us, so welcome. And we do encourage you to continue reaching out to each other, and join us on Wednesday evenings at 6:30 for our midweek Zoom service, which gives us another opportunity to connect and listen to another uplifting message from Dr. Michael. As you know, the center continues to be closed at least through the month of June. No specific date for reopening has been determined at this point, but when we do, we will do our very best to provide a safe atmosphere for all. Thank you for continuing to support the center financially. It is very much appreciated, as most of the center's expenses continue. You may mail checks directly to the center or visit our website at cslmenifee.org and donate through PayPal or credit cards. Another option is to set up automatic withdrawals from your bank. Just know that your support is appreciated by whatever means works best for you. Under other information, Dr. Michael's new online Zoom class entitled Mental Equivalence starts Tuesday, July 7th from 6:30 to 8 p.m. This is a core course in the spiritual living category, which consists of 5 sessions plus 1 meeting with a practitioner. Registration is $45. Tuition for non-members is $125. For center members, it's $75. The required book is The Mental Equivalent by Emmett Fox. The workbook is digitized. There will be an additional cost for printing and mailing. A digital subscription of Science of Mind magazine is now available for a 12-month subscription for $9.95, and that price continues through the end of this month. So you contact a home office directly to set that up. Print issues are also available at the center for $5. And you may make arrangements with White Feather to pick one up, or stop by and see me on Monday mornings at 10 o'clock when I'm there. Or if you prefer, Dave and Kara will deliver issues to your home if you live in the Sun City area, or between Sun City and Hemet, as Dave works in Hemet, and so he will be glad to bring one in that direction as well. So contact any core council member if you'd like to avail yourself of this service, and we'll make sure that the information gets to Dave and Kara. Licensed professional practitioners are available to serve and assist you with prayer. If you have a prayer request for this week, please forward them to ministerial student Sandra Prince or to myself, and they will then be forwarded to the Ministry of Prayer. Practitioners are also available for more personal, in-depth prayer and counseling on a fee-for-service basis during the week. You'll find all of the contact information on the website. With that, the website is cslmenifee.org. Please check it out and like us on Facebook. Also, as a reminder, Sunday and Wednesday messages are recorded on YouTube and can be located on our webpage, or check with Dave and Kara on how to find it. Our donations from last week were $535. The Sunday Zoom attendance was 26 plus 11 on Facebook, and the Wednesday Zoom service attendance was 11. So with that, I will ask Victoria to lead us this morning. Is from the Science of Mind in the general summary. Only when we put our very best into our spiritual work will it satisfy us. A spiritual power is released through true thinking that is as much a law as is chemical affinity. There is no deliverance of the real self without mental conviction. To have faith in God is to follow this faith through by having faith in the self. The real self is God, and as such is to be implicitly trusted. The spark which burns at the center of our own soul is caught from the living and eternal flame of the Spirit. And so it is. At this time, I will invite our practitioner of the day, Sandra Prince, to come forward and lead us in our invocation.
Thank you, Reverend Ann. So just breathe into this moment, allowing your eyes to softly close and your body and mind to be present in this moment. Knowing that whatever transpires is for our highest good. Know that with every indrawn breath, we breathe in life. And with every outgoing breath, we send it forth. Knowing that there is one infinite divine spirit, the cause of all creation. That divine spirit is all good and is all love. So I ask that you open your minds and your hearts to receive the message Dr. Michael will give us today. I am thankful for the technology that allow us to continue to attend service and continues to support our center during this time of social distancing. I thank you for everyone who comes for this divine appointment. We are truly one. And together, please affirm with me. And so it is.
And so it is. Thank you for that. And so it is truly a pleasure and an honor that we have this beautiful voice of Victoria Patton, and that she comes to us and brings us the voice of God in her music. And so please welcome Victoria Patton.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. So timely, so appropriate. Our theme this month is mindfulness for Mavericks. I like the idea of maverick, that sense of sort of not buying into anything and not living inside the box, but to feel the freedom and to feel the excitement of life and moving forward. And today's topic in the journal that we've been following this year is called Just Breathe. And I find that it's somewhat ironic that although this journal was prepared sometime last year, that this week the topic would be just breathe, when we know that in the current conditions that not everybody has that ability and that freedom right now in so many ways of how it represents. And yet here we are, and our principles, our teachings in science of mind has forever brought forth that idea that if we are able and willing and ready to take the time necessary to become still, to be in that quiet place and to anchor within into that divine spirit where we know that all things are made whole, perfect, and complete, that perhaps there we can breathe into this life that we know. For breathing is life. It is the life sustaining itself. It is the ebb and the flow of each inhalation and exhalation. For breathing is the method, it's the technique that helps us to process, to shift, and to evolve. We are told to oftentimes breathe and to count to 10 when we're feeling anger. And we know that the vocalist breathes in a particular way to give rise to the song. That the pregnant mother is invited to connect to their breath, as that aids in the process of childbirth. The mediator is invited to connect to their breath as a way of centering. As we look at the story in Genesis, it says that the breath of God brought forth Adam into a living soul. We're reminded that breathing is life itself. For the concept of breath is that it's equally important for life as it is for the idea of living life fully. And given that this is Pride Month, I'm also reminded in that moment of coming out, of taking that deep breath to express a new experience and moving into life. For breathing gives us power and it gives us our voice to our own authority. And so I'm thinking that, as Ernest Holmes says, that the thing itself, spirit, it works for us by working through us and as us. and it cannot work for us in any other way. For our breath is the breath of the divine presence coming into this life, coming into this experience of who we are and who we are to be. And we cannot take for granted that everyone is in that place of having the freedom to breathe in their own experience, to breathe in their own freedom, to be able to move about on this planet Earth in a way that allows them to be in that full expression. And for those of us who have that sense of privilege, that sense of freedom, that awareness of who we are and how we can move about in this world in a greater sense than others, we can no longer afford to be silent in those areas where we find that there is injustice or inequity or inequality, that we must speak up and speak forth about a greater truth that is, as we know it, truly available to each and every one of us. But there are those who would want to restrict, who would want to limit, who would want to take away the freedom and the rights of others. As I often say at the beginning of our service, that as long as we are here on this planet, as long as we are here in this life, no matter where we are on the journey of life, that then there must be something more to do, that Spirit has a purpose for us to be here, that Spirit wants us to be in that full expression, and it wants all of us to be in that full expression of life. And so wherever we are on this journey of life, I think that we have the opportunity to be more, to express more, to bring the possibility and the potential into this full expression of life for everyone. And I know that some people are asking, what is it that I can do? And I would speak from this place of Centers for Spiritual Living, and this place of what we call our beloved community, that first and foremost, that we always enter into a place of love, in a place of prayer. That I think the most important action that we can take, not only for ourselves in our own personal life, but an action that we can take for our beloved community, and an action that we can take for all others, is to enter into a prayer, an affirmation, a spiritual mind treatment, enter into a time in which we are declaring that there is the potential for freedom and love and peace and harmony for all. For all work begins in consciousness. All work begins in that place of knowing who we are, that we are here as divine expressions of Spirit. So begin there as my spiritual practice. Each morning when I awake, one of the first things that I'm doing is to bring forth my gratitude journal and to list as many things as I can in that morning of which I am grateful for. And I always begin with this idea that I am grateful for life, and I am grateful for love. that I am surrounded by all this living things that are in my experience, and I'm surrounded by some of the most gracious and beautiful love that I have could possibly know. And so I begin that place in gratitude, and then I begin with prayer for world peace. And I just recently posted this yesterday on my Facebook page, a prayer for peace by Ernest Holmes. And I want to just share a portion of that. I now declare that in each person and in leaders of thought everywhere, this divine pattern moves into action and form to the end that all nations and all people shall live together in peace, in harmony, and prosperity forever. So I begin my day with that prayer. I begin my day entering into the consciousness that through my voice, through the power that is available within me, that I can bring into this experience a greater sense of peace and love and joy and harmony. And so I continue to recommend and suggest that for all of us, that we do that to the greatest of our ability. And if you have the ability and you have the desire and you have the interest and you have the willingness to be out there, to be in the streets, to be in those places that are coming together in a larger community to support the freedom and the love and the life of each and every person. For I know that it is important that we show up and that we give our support wherever we can for this idea of truth and life. For we know that particularly we need to speak up and recognize in today's world that Black lives matter. That it's important that those of us who have the ability to speak up, that can freely give this voice, that we do so that it brings about a change in the world. Because we know that as we are here, that we are forever evolving and that we are forever moving forward, as Ernest Holmes says, in an up spiral of life. Meaning that there is always something more to do. There is always some greater yet to be. There is always some expression of perfection and joy and love and harmony that can be brought forth. And it begins in our consciousness, that we need to raise our consciousness individually. We need to raise our consciousness collectively as a community, and our beloved community of the Center for Spiritual Living, Menifee Valley, however it is that we join together and meet up. And we need to do it collectively as a nation, as a world, that we know that truly that there is more yet to be, and that we can be the instruments, we can be the vessels, we can be the voice that brings that forth into a greater experience. The daily guide in the Science of Mind magazine for today, it reads, the value of love in your work. Your work is going to fill a large part of your life. And the only way to be truly satisfied is to do what you believe is great work. And I believe that our beloved community, our center, is doing great work, that we are opening up a place where people can feel love, people can feel safe, that people can show up right where they are in their journey of life, knowing that they will be accepted and seen and heard and recognized as a valuable individual in this greater sense of life and purpose. The value of love in your work is that divine urge moving through each and every one of us, wanting to be an expression, wanting to be in that fullness, wanting to be in every way that it can, love and peace and joy and harmony. I also invite us, as long as we can, to whatever we can do to continue to learn. I don't believe that we could ever stop learning. And one of the ways in which we can learn, of course, we can always take classes, we can always read books, we can always study courses, but one of the greatest learning opportunities in life is to meet other people, to meet them directly, and not to judge them for how they appear or how they're showing up, but to really look deep within and begin to understand who they are and what their life experience has been, to just truly deeply listen, to ask about them, to ask what their purpose is, their desires are, their needs and their wants. And I think we're going to find out that the more that we do that, the more that we are all looking for the same things. We're all looking for love. We're all looking for peace. We're all looking for prosperity and the opportunity to just show up and be who I am, to be authentic, to be real in the place and the time and the space that I have on this journey of life. So I encourage all of us, as we are in this community, to do our work, to take the time that we have available to us, to just breathe, to be in that place that we can be comfortable, that we can be quiet, and to invite us to learn each day something new, to greet a new person, to look beyond what may be the appearance and try to find the greater truth within that. For I know that as we do, that we will fulfill our goal as Centers for Spiritual Living and this idea that we can create a world that works for all. Thank you for being here today. Namaste. And so now I'm going to again ask for Victoria to come back and give us some beautiful.
It's a good one.
I hope everybody had their tissues close at hand. Oh, how beautiful it is that we're able to come together. And so this is our time for our affirmative prayer, spiritual mind treatment, and a time in which we also remind that our center is continuing to need your support. So in whatever way is available to you, if you can go to our website and make your contribution, or you mail it in to us, or however it is that you can bring that forth, we are truly grateful. And we take this opportunity to just acknowledge the divine presence that is moving through and expressing as each and every one of us. For I know that there is a full life that is wanting to be brought into this experience, and it can only do so as it comes through the unique individual personalities of each and every one of us. So regardless of the appearance or the conditions or how it is that we are showing up in life, I know that each and every one of us is the face of God. It is the arms and the hands of God moving through into the world and into expression in order to bring that fullness and to bring that power and that presence into a way in which we can experience more love and more joy and more peace and harmony and prosperity. I know that today, in all of the movement that is going on out there in the world, that it is bringing forth a change. It is bringing forth an evolution into this understanding that each of us, every one of us, is deserving and worthy of this life. And that we ought to have the potential and the possibility to bring forth our voice and our ideas and our skills and our talents, because we all have a gift that is necessary in order for that full picture of spirit to be brought forth, that we must be allowed to speak our truth, who we are. And so once again, I just remember the names of Martin Luther King Jr. and Trayvon Martin and Eric Garner and Michael Brown and Tamir Rice, Freddie Gray, Philando Castile and Sandra Bland, Ahmaud Arbery, Breonna Taylor, and George Floyd, and so many others, that they not be forgotten, that we remember in this time and in this day that life is the value of each of us to bring forth our gift of who we are. And for all of the gifts that we have received and all the gifts that are yet to be received, I say thank you, thank you, thank you, God, for the good that has been made so. And I know that there is yet more good to be received. And so I release this prayer, this time, this service up over and into the mind of God, because I know there that it is already made so. It is good and very good. And then we affirm it as we say together, and so it is. And so I thank all of